how y'all doing? Very excited about this opportunity. I'm excited to be at the University of Georgia and get a chance to meet you guys. As we go through this entire process, hopefully I'll get a chance to see you guys around and build relationships with you guys. Up for questions, what we got?
Yeah, Coach, you spent almost a decade under Coach Muschamp, or with Coach Muschamp, spent a couple of years with Coach Saban, and obviously now here with Coach Smart. What do those guys, if anything, have in common, and do they share a common ideal about the defensive backfield?
Yeah, obviously, both of those guys, Coach Smart and Coach Muschamp, obviously worked with Coach Saban for a long time. And some of the core values of the organization and how we do things is something that they really, really looked at. And you can tell that they've done a really good job of learning from Coach Saban and doing those things. But I think, as I got here at the University of Georgia, I saw that Coach Smart was able to take some of the things that we did at Alabama and expound upon those things. And I think, for how we practice, the energy, the different things that we do, I think is very important. And he does a great job of doing that.
Obviously, you had a very good situation at Alabama. You had a good situation most of your career. How much of an influence was Coach Muschamp just on convincing you to come here and just all the dominoes that had to fall to make that happen? And then if you could expound a little bit just on your relationship, what he's done for you professionally.
Been with Coach Muschamp for a long time. I GA'd for him at Auburn, worked with him at University of Florida, was his defensive coordinator at South Carolina. He's a guy that's been a mentor to me, father figure. And everything that I've done in my career, he always assisted me in. When he told me that he was looking into not being here full time, but being here a lot of the time, it's something that I wanted to do because he wanted someone, because he's a big time Georgia guy, obviously played here and did those different things, and he wanted to pass that torch to somebody that he felt that can come in and kind of run things like he did. And I was excited about that call. When Coach Saban retired, Coach Smart called me, and Coach Muschamp and him got on the phone and told me exactly, what it was going to be, and I was excited to do it. And I wanted to be a part of the same type culture, the same type of environment, and I thought this was the best thing for me to do.
When we talked to Malachi in the spring, he talked about getting here at like 4:35 in the morning and running with you. What's it been like building a relationship with Malachi, and just what have been your impressions about him to this point?
Man, what a great kid. I talk to my kids a lot about Malachi. Malachi is a guy who you want your son to be like. I'll give you a quick story. Malachi, I was gaining a little weight, okay? All right, so I'll be the first person to say it. I was gaining a little weight. I told Malachi I'm finna start running. And he was like, okay, what time you gonna run? So I said 5:30. So he says, okay. So I get in at 5:30 and Malachi's in the dang indoor waiting on me. All right, so I run the first day. All right, so I'm like, all right. So he said, hey, what time we coming tomorrow, coach? So I said, all right, we're gonna come at 5:30 again. Same thing. So then the next day, my knee was bothering me a little bit. So I said, I ain't gonna run tomorrow. All right, but I wasn't gonna tell Malachi that. So I get home, it's probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I get a text from Malachi, hey, what time we going, coach? All right, and Malachi a lot faster than me, in case you guys are wondering, and that's even when I play. All right, so, he's straining, he's doing all the things, but it's the same thing he does on the field, right? He's holding people accountable. I think that's one of his greatest traits. Yes, he's a good football player. Yes, he's a great ball hawk, all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, Malachi holds people accountable, and he holds himself accountable. That's why he's a good player.
Yeah, just with Will moving into an analyst role, what does his role look like, and how helpful has he been in terms of getting you up to speed with this program?
His role looked like same thing. He was a head coach when he was coming down my neck every single day. I mean, he's in every single meeting with me, bothering me all the time. So it's crazy, man. My entire career, whether it's been Coach Muschamp, Coach Saban being in the room. Now I'm at a place, I'm at the University of Georgia. Coach Smart's in the defensive back room. He's a DB guy. Coach Muschamp's in the DB room. Coach Dante's in the DB room. I mean, it's like an AFCA clinic every single day, man. And but at the end of the day, man, it's been great. I really enjoy Coach Muschamp being here and helping me kind of get through the process of learning how we do things, because some of the things that we do here is a little different than what we did at Alabama. Kirby's done a really good job, and Coach Schumann has changing some of the different things that we did and making it not as complex. And I think our guys are able to play faster because of that.
You mentioned Dante there. Just what stands out to you about him as a coach, and how do the two of y'all work together
coaching the entirety of the secondary, but obviously different positions.
Yeah, I've been knowing about Coach Dante for a long time. He's been kind of, I guess, the T-Rob on the West Coast. All right, coaching all those guys. We heard about him in recruiting, had some really good recruiting battles with him. But he's a very personable guy. He's a guy that has a lot of energy. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it, all right, but one time I was out at practice, I guess my first or second day, and I see a guy running down the field with a helmet on, but he had no jersey. So I was like, well, who don't have a jersey at practice? I thought he was a player. It was Dante going there doing some different things with the corners, working on back shoulder fades and different things like that. And I asked him, because he's kind of a pretty boy, he's a good-looking guy. And he said to me he did it before when he was places at other places, and he got hit in the face. All right, so he started putting on a helmet because of that. But Dante's a really good dude, very smart coach, very excited to get a chance to work for him. He's a relentless recruiter, and I'm excited to get a chance to work with him here at Georgia.
Coach, I asked Glenn Schumann a second ago about Jonell Guerrero, who's kind of stepping into a role. Tykee Smith plays so well. You had some other guys play that spot. So Javon did a little bit as well. I mean, your first impression working with him, or what steps that you think he's made so far?
I'll tell you what, the good thing about these guys, I recruited a lot of these guys. So I had a previous relationship with Jonell. So always knew they was very explosive, knew he got great coverage ability and different things like that. So getting a chance to come here and watch him develop and learn the system and learn how we do things and why we do things has been very good. I thought he did a really good job in spring, and he's processing through camp. And I think he's doing an amazing job of learning how we do things and trying to do what we're asking him to do. But he's a talented guy. We're in a competition battle all across the board. Like we told our guys, first day we stood up, Malachi Starks, guess 2-time All-American. He don't have a job. The motto this year is assume nothing. So if everybody take that approach of assume nothing, everybody will get better. And I think Jonell has kind of took tune to that, and he's doing a really good job with the reps that he's getting out in camp.
Are you and Malachi still doing the morning runs, or is that a spring thing?
No, I'm not, as you can tell. No, Malachi. Obviously we in camp right now, so he ain't getting up doing that with me right now. But I need to take my butt back out there and start running. So maybe I need to hold me accountable again.
I don't want to assume anything here, but I'll be the first to ask, can you compare Kirby and Saban on the field to each other personality-wise after 2 seasons with Saban?
All right, first of all, I would say, you see this microphone right here? All right, that would probably be the main difference. As far as from the energy and different things like that and getting after guys and holding guys accountable, I would say is equal. Say the same thing. I would say the microphone, getting that public talk to, because it's a little different now. All right, when a guy come run to you and tell you something, or when you hear it on that microphone and your players hear him talking to you, hey, T-Rob, this guy don't know what he's doing, or you don't know how to coach it. All right, so it holds everybody accountable. It's really good, and anybody can get it, man. That's the great thing about this place. Coach Saban has been a mentor to all of us. We talk to him all the time. He's a guy who everything we learn from him, and he's been great to us. So excited about those guys and excited to be here.
Coach, real quick, can you talk to us about your freshman secondary guys? You had a really upper class in recruiting. Can you kind of compare and contrast some of those guys and what you've seen in the first few days of camp?
The guy's doing a really good job. You look at from the safety position, we brought in KJ Bolden, we brought in Colin Gill, who's a guy that transferred in from Oregon. We brought in those guys, and those guys learning the system, learning how we do things. KJ's really doing a good job with the reps that he's getting. Obviously, he was here earlier. He was a mid-year, so that helps. It helps a lot because he kind of understands exactly what we expect from him. The drills that we're out there introducing to him, he's done them before, so nothing's new to him. So it gives him a little, confidence that he can go out there and get it done. When you talk in terms of corners, you look at Ellis, you look at Andre, you look at some of those guys, and DeMello. Those guys have done a really good job. They got a chance to be really good football players, but they're learning. This is their, 5th day of practice, going into their 6th day of practice in fall camp, and those guys going against some of the best athletes in the country. And they're doing a good job of trying their best to hold their own. But it's a lot. It's a big learning curve. It really is. It's a big difference between high school and college. And those guys are learning how to do things the right way and do it the right time, because they've always been the best athletes. But it's different when you get to college. The higher you go up in sports, all right, the competition becomes so much greater. And those guys are at the best place in the country, and they're going against the best athletes in the country, and they're doing a good job of getting better.
Yeah, how does matching up against Carson Beck every day in practice help this secondary get ready for the upcoming season?
Yeah, I think it's Carson Beck. I think it's the offense. I think it's the running game. I think it's all the different elements of what we do. It's hard. And, I was fortunate enough I got a chance to play in a real game against Carson Beck. I got a chance to prepare against Coach Bobo in a real game. So I understand the difficulties of some of the things that we do, all right, that cause problems to a defense. And I think the tempo and the different things, the motions, and and Carson's a really, really good quarterback who knows where to go with the football, get the ball out of his hand very well, and really throws the deep ball well. So excited and challenged every single day. And I talk a lot of trash to Carson, and he does a good job of handling it in the right way, and he does a really good job of responding. He make bad plays, all right, he pick it up and he go do something different, all right, and then he hurts us. All right, he's a talented guy, and we're going at it and battling every single day.
You said anything about the Alabama game last year?
No, I hadn't done that yet. I don't know if I'm able to bring that up.
Yeah, Coach, a little bit earlier you mentioned the simplification of this defense. I was wondering if you could expound upon that a little bit. How are you guys going about simplifying something that seems to be complex?
Yeah, I think we did a really good job, Coach Schumann and Coach Muschamp and the rest of the defensive staff, of doing a great job of compartmentalizing the calls. We have different families, and it's easy for our players to learn when you go in and you say, all right, an NFL quarterback is this, a generic man is that, right? So it doesn't matter if it's Robinson O or it's Eddie O. It doesn't matter, all right? This is what you do. So I think we do a really good job of simplifying those things, the verbiage and all the different things. We have a bunch of calls, all right, that the star don't have to worry about lining up when they're going fast. He lined to the field. So we got some different things to get guys, younger guys, more guys on the field to go out and execute. And I thought they've done a really good job of shrinking the system, still doing the same variants of what we do, but simplifying it so we can do it in a faster ways.
You once told me years ago that you danced with a person who brought you to the dance, and you were referring to Coach Muschamp. How often do you find yourself sounding like him, like mimicking him, saying things out loud that he said, and now that you're in a place where perhaps players have already heard him say it, you've got to come up with new stuff?
No, I'm not coming up with anything new. I am who I am. I learned from who I learned from. He's a guy that I respect in his profession. I respect as a man. I respect as a father. I respect him. And he's a great guy. And I think one of the things that I do is stay true to who I am and what I believe. And I got a different delivery. Coach Muschamp and we say some of the same stuff, all right, but I say it a little different to him. I got a little nicer side than he got sometimes.
You said you haven't mentioned the Bama game to Carson Beck, but I'm sure when you were hired, Kirby Smart sat you down and said, hey, you guys played against us, you scouted us, you game planned us. What did you tell him that you saw on tape when you kind of went back over that game?
I mean, it was just two good football teams going at it, and one football team happened to win the game. It was nothing that they gave away. It was nothing like that. It was just two really good football teams battling, competing. They got the same mindset, and because they came from the same type of environment.
Is the secondary kind of one of the riskiest places to start guys young? It seems like the Caleb Downs are an exception. Even Malachi starting late in his freshman year, and why is that? Why is the secondary so hard to just take even the most talented guy as a freshman and throw him out?
Yeah, because the margin of error, all right, is very small back there. When you make a mistake, it's 7 points. All right, when you're a defensive line, you jump out of your gap. Well, the linebacker got a chance to tackle. All right, if you're a linebacker and you miss a tackle, well, the safety got a chance to tackle. Well, that safety is a guy who hadn't played a lot of ball or don't feel that he can get it done or make a mistake or something like that, then it's 7 points. So we're on the back level. It's like being a quarterback, right? We have to do a lot of different things from a communication standpoint. We got to be on the same page. All right, everything that we practice, it don't necessarily show up in the game. There's going to be some new stuff show up in the ball game that you have to have your experience. You got to have guys that's been in the fire, that's done it. So that's why it's a little hard to play at that position. But we have guys do it every place I've been. So if the guy's mature enough to do it, a guy's capable enough to do it, handle it from a mental standpoint and talented standpoint, then he'll be just fine.
when you look at the Mike Bobo that you spent the season with in 2020 at South Carolina and compare it to the one you're spending the time with now, is it the same guy? Do you see any differences? What stands out there?
Well, Coach Bobo is the most competitive dude I know. All right, no matter what we're doing, whether it's golf, whether it's cards, it doesn't matter. So he's always been that way. But from a schematic standpoint, you look at all the different things that he does here. We didn't have all those motions. We had some of the, the fast huddle breaks, different things like that. But we didn't have all these speed motions and all these different things that we got. So it's a lot of moving parts, and it's very important to do that on offense in today's football because of all the different things that a defense is trying to do to you. So the key to the drill when you're on offense is trying to make the defense talk, trying to get them to make a mistake. Well, when the easiest way to do that is by going fast and motioning. And we do that better than anybody in the country.
Got time for one more question?
Yeah, in the 7-8 months you've been here, what have been your impressions of Glenn Schumann, and what has impressed you about him as the defensive coordinator?
Good. Call him like Rain Man. He's very, very intelligent, man. Very intelligent. Sees everything. Has really good ideas, and he does a really good job in front of the guys. I think the guys really, really respect him. He does a really good job of delegating different things to the staff and giving people ownership in their job. And y'all should see him make some kind of edit or any kind of slide or something, man. He's the best on the computer I ever seen. But he's an awesome dude, man. He's a great guy. He's a staff guy. He's a guy that I'm eager to continue to learn from and be a part and help with what we're trying to get accomplished here.
Thank you, Coach.
Mm-hmm.